The John Ensign scandal, it seems, is just getting started. If Republican senators try to ignore this the way they've tried to ignore David Vitter after his prostitution problem, does that mean that the Democrats can pass any old gay rights legislation they want without fear of family values moralizing from the wide stance side of the aisle? Joining us now is Ana Marie Cox, national correspondent for Air America Radio and contributor to Playboy magazine. Hi, Ana Marie. Nice to see you.
Good to see you, Rachel.
Senator Ensign has resigned his leadership job in the Senate, but he has not resigned from the actual Senate yet. Do you think that he will?
No, I don't. I think also, I'm not sure if he should resign over the affair. However, this favoritism is kind of an issue. And, you know, there's a word for when you pay the people you sleep with. I'm trying to think of what it is. But anyway, maybe David Vitter can help us out later. Yeah, I know. It's weird.
Yeah. Well, you know, if he's not going to step down from the Senate, I mean, most Republican senators aren't commenting on this at all. A few Republican senators are saying positive things about him. They both happen to be his roommates. Tom Coburn said he's a bright young man and lots of people make mistakes.
Who knows what he brought home to the apartment, but anyway, go ahead.
Jim DeMint said he's a great leader and he hopes Ensign will stay in the Senate a long time. Is that just roommate privilege? Like you just don't talk smack about the people who you share a chore wheel with, or are people really going to support him?
Well, you and I have talked before about how the Senate is a very exclusive club, and once you're in, it's really hard to get kicked out of it. And I think that's one of the things you're seeing here. And also, Rachel, I have to say, I mean, you were making the point about whether or not the Family Values Coalition would have a hard time making a stance, wide or not, on that issue, now having had some fairly prominent people embroiled in these extramarital affairs. I have to say, I think that people who are against marriage equality and against repealing Don't Ask, Don't Tell have a very tin ear for hypocrisy, or else they wouldn't have those feelings at all. Now, it'd be one thing, and I think this would be a really kind of amazing and amusing thing for us, if Ensign could prove that it was gays getting married that caused him to have the affair.
Oh, that's brilliant. Like his marriage was diluted and therefore
it was like everything was going great, and then the gays started to marry. And all of a sudden, you know, the lady looked really good and he started paying her twice as much. You understand. You understand.
I would love to see him try to pull that off. I would absolutely love that. But okay, well, let's get to the issue though of the money in this case. If the Republican Party put Ensign's mistress's son on the payroll, if he doubled his mistress's salary paid by campaign funds while she was sleeping with him, this is such a bigger scandal than Larry Craig. I don't see how they can avoid turning on him if it involves literally Republican Party money.
I think they're going to have to at least do an investigation. I mean, I think this does look very, very poor. And again, I think Americans are, to their credit, pretty live and let live when it comes to people's personal lives and to what goes on in the bedroom. That's why most Americans are for repealing Don't Ask, Don't Tell, and a lot of Americans are for marriage equality. But when you start to pay the people that you're sleeping with, that's a problem. And when you start to use government money, or sort of taxpayer money at least, the people who are trying to support a political cause to do that kind of thing, that's something I think we can all get upset about, even if we're not upset about the affair itself. I mean, that is really problematic.
I think the affair itself is utterly unnewsworthy, except for the fact that he has been advancing his political career on the backs of calling for other people to resign who do exactly the same thing.
There is one piece of news that's newsworthy about that affair, which is that some Republican in the country got someone to sleep with him, which I think for a lot of Republicans, considering the state of the party right now, is probably really good news.
I'm just going to leave that exactly where it lies. Ana Marie Cox, national correspondent for Air America Radio, contributor to Playboy magazine. It is always a pleasure and an implicit threat to have you here. Thanks for being here.
Thanks, Rachel.